So yeah, so in last session also we have discussed like how to deactivate the trigger in a production, and like definitely we cannot deactivate in production. We have a workaround to use some custom setting or custom metadata where we can use that, and accordingly we can make that that checkbox as a false, then all my trigger will be false. So let's take a one use case. So why we are on that way and why we are deciding to do that kind of thing. So let's take example. Let's say in a production, so there is a some we are building new things, and let's say we have some external system. This is my external system and this is my production. This is my Salesforce production, this is Salesforce, and this is my external system. So I got data in a, like from the external system, I'm getting data in Salesforce. There is no integration between that. Like there is no REST integration, no REST SOAP integration. Okay, it's a directly what we are doing here. So we are taking the data in the Excel sheet and we are uploading in the production. So we can have multiple ways to get the data in the Salesforce. It might be directly one-to-one integration, or there might be some Excel sheet we are uploading the data using data loader. Okay, so in an account object, contact object, or any of the S object which we have. So let's take example, like we have some kind of validation rule implemented. We have some workflow rule implemented. We have some trigger implemented, flow implemented. There are lots of things implemented on the object. Let's take example on account object only. Okay, on account object. So let's say I have around 10 validation rule. It can be possible, or it can be like 50 validation rule. It can also be possible. Might be we have very complex system. Okay, so there is some of the required field and some of the saying like great start date should not be greater than expire date or something like this. There are lots of validation. Okay, so in the Excel sheet, whatever data we are getting, let's take an example, that data is not similar to like whatever validation rule and all we are getting, means this is both are not matching. If we will upload the data in the production, so then this validation will fire and our record will be break, like it will through the error message because of some validation issue. Because my validation issue, a validation workflow trigger, lots of things is there. Now in this scenario we are discussing about triggers only. Lots of things is implemented there. So how will you deactivate all that thing in the like trigger? How will you deactivate? So you will go one by one, or you will deactivate that one? That is not a way, right? That is not a way. So one by one, instead of going that thing, so let's take example, we are doing in a non-working day, we do this kind of things. In a non-working day means is a Saturday, Sunday, something like this. So let's take example, or this is my business hours, and in a business hours or in the non-working hours we are doing some work. Okay, like data migration works and all. So that time if we will break, if these things will break, then lots of exception can be there. Like my end user will also might get lots of emails and all. So what is happening, they might be confused. Okay, so what will you do? So before doing these kind of data migration works, so we should have we need to deactivate all that triggers at once with single click only. We no need to go to in each and every trigger and make it deactivate. First of all, we cannot deactivate the trigger in production. Okay, second thing is, let's take example, anyhow we choose one approach, and anyhow we deactivated the trigger. Some alternative we have, some workaround we have. Okay, for that. So let's take example, we have deactivated. After that, there, if I'm inserting the record and I'm doing lots of things after that, some if there is some email alert workflow rule is there, some process builder or something like, which is firing the email to the user. That is also not a good thing to every time, like if you are firing the emails and all. So if I don't want to fire the email, I want to stop my email firing and everything, what will I do? So we have one option here, email deliverability. So this deliverability, we can make it off. This is a part of admin only. If I'll disable this one, I'll make it no access. So what does it mean? It means if I'm doing any things and my workflow is not firing the email. Let's take example, I have a workflow rule and I'm just checking, you are debugging you are just testing that workflow, that it is working or not. You have implemented each and everything correctly. After that, email is not firing. So what might be the reason? First of all, you will go to deliverability and you will check this access is there or not. So this is only for email services. This is for, like, if there is access, all access, like all emails, it means this email will go to external user also. Like let's say my official email ID is like domain is @websfdctech.in, something like this. Okay, so like external email, you are saying something?
Continuous or present, continuous present, indefinite और past indefinite, इन चारों का ना mix is test.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so let's take example. We are facing yeah, so all email means
Sir, external
external.
emails means just like community.
No, not even community. We are not external emails means, let's say I have few user in the Salesforce. Okay, external user, let's say there is a Mirage user is not in the Salesforce. I'm just firing the email to the only special. I'm just putting the your email ID so that you are the external user. You are not belong from my system. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you are the external user. So if I'm putting your email ID, and let's say in the workflow rule we have additional emails and all, right? So if I'm putting your email ID and I'm firing that email, so that email will fire to you. So it means all emails means external or internal both. System means internal user only. No access means it will not fire. The email will service will be off from here only. If email is not firing, you are not getting, you are resetting your user password or something like this, you are not getting the emails. So reason behind this is deliverability. So if you are doing the data migration work, so did a data migration work also, take care of all these things. No access should be there, and after that you need to deactivate the trigger from production. So now let's take example, how can we deactivate that one? So like we have started to learn this thing in the last class, but I think like I was little busy that time, we didn't much focus on that. So let's open any of the existing trigger. So on the account, okay, so we have these few triggers on account object. Okay, so let's take example this one. So what we have done last time, so we updated from child to parent, I think so. Yep, parent to child, sorry. Yeah, so this trigger which we implemented last time, if I want to deactivate this trigger, so what will I do? As I already like used this custom setting, so what can we do? We will go to custom setting. Custom setting is nothing, it's like a custom object only. Okay, it is like a custom object only. I'll go there. Let's say I have created this custom object. Now let me just create a new custom object. Custom setting, sorry. Disable trigger at once. That should be API underscore here underscore. No. Okay, so now I'm getting few fields here. You know, this is my custom object. You can compare, if you are comparing the things with a custom object, this is my custom object, and I'm creating some fields. Like it is not lookup master and something like this here. So you can create some of the Boolean and some like few data types are supported here. So let's take example. I'm using is active. And why we are using this one? Why we are not using a custom object if it is like a custom object only, right? Because totally intention is like, why do we use custom setting first? Custom setting has their own cache memory. If you are doing some kind of work using cache memory, what will happen? So every time if my one request is like third party is hitting my Salesforce custom setting, or we are working with custom setting, in first time it might take some time. Second time it will capture their memory as a cache memory. Third time whenever it will run, so it will not take time as it took a first time. It will just capture the things. It has their own memory. It will capture, oh, last time what I did. So it will go to that place only instead of rotating everywhere. It has their own memory, cache memory. Cache means it is making the things fast. Okay, it is making the things fast. So that's why we are using this custom setting instead of custom object. So if I want to create a record, so I'll go to this manage button. Okay, so I'll click on the manage button. So similarly, I can create a records from here. So I can create a record. So, if you will create a custom object, so by default name is automatically come. We no need to create this mandatory field, right? Automatically it always comes when you create a custom
Name.
object also. Yes. Similarly, we are getting the same thing in the custom setting also. We can create anything like test 1, 2, 3, whatever the name you want to give. So like is active or something like this, or trigger name, whatever trigger name we have, whatever we want to use, trigger false. And if I want to make active in or deactivate, so accordingly I can make this one. So now you can understand if I will query this custom setting, it's quite simple. So let me just see one thing. Yeah. So if I will query this custom setting like a custom object only, okay, so now I'm querying this custom setting. Okay, trigger false. If I want to update this one, similarly I can update, like it is, you can consider this is a custom object only. It's a second type of custom object only, you can consider like this. Okay, because of some cache things, and we do use this one, and our intention is totally different because everyone will go to custom object and they can directly delete the records. But this is not that record which records we have in the object level. In an object level we have customer records, customer data. Okay, here this is a part of functionality. If I'm creating this record, this is not that much of simple record which we create on the object level. This, if I'm making it false, this is not my customer record, right? You can intentionally, you can understand this is a part of functionality. Definitely this is a record. This is my record, but this is not my customer record. This is my functionality record. If I will delete this one, if I will delete this record, so what will happen? We can directly delete. That's not an issue, but my functionality will stop there, stop working, right? But if I will delete any of the record from the custom object, it will not impact anywhere. It will not impact. Definitely it will impact to only one record only per one customer, right?
Sir, repeat again. Repeat again. I'm unable to understand.
Okay, so मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि आपका जो custom setting है, it's a part of functionality, not a part, it is not like a custom object. जैसे custom object के अंदर, standard object के अंदर आपने record create किया, और वहां पे record create करने के बाद आपने वहां पे कौन सा record store होगा? आपका कस्टमर का रिकॉर्ड स्टोर होगा, या आपकी कंपनी का होगा, या कोई प्रोडक्ट का स्टोर होगा. लेट्स से आपने गलती से वो डिलीट कर दिया. लेट्स टेक एग्जांपल, आपने अकाउंट को डिलीट कर दिया गलती से, राइट? सो ये कहीं भी इंपैक्ट नहीं करेगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. आपने गलती से डिलीट कर दिया तो कर दिया, क्या इंपैक्ट पड़ेगा आपका? इस पे इंपैक्ट पड़ेगा, एक रिकॉर्ड पे इंपैक्ट पड़ेगा,
ओनली ऑब्जेक्ट के ऊपर ही,
ओनली ऑब्जेक्ट के ऊपर ही रहेगा. बट आपने कस्टम ऑब्जेक्ट का रिकॉर्ड क्रिएट कर दिया, सो आपका जो ट्रिगर है, सो ट्रिगर इंपैक्ट पड़ेगा. और ट्रिगर इंपैक्ट पड़ गया तो मतलब कंप्लीट फंक्शनैलिटी पे इंपैक्ट पड़ेगा. पता नहीं कहाँ पे ट्रिगर कॉल हो रहा है, क्या कुछ है, समझ रहे हो? और इट डजंट मीन कि ये ट्रिगर पे ही चेक रहेगा. ये आपका ओरा कंपोनेंट के अंदर, आपका अपेक्स क्लास के अंदर, आपको कहीं भी प्रिवेंशन करना है, आपको हर एक लॉजिक स्टॉप करना है, पूरा सेल्सफोर्स बंद करना है, एक ट्रिगर एक इस लॉजिक के भी आप कंप्लीट कर सकते हो. क्योंकि if I'm querying the same record on the object level also, let me just,
हमें किसी भी ट्रिगर को बंद कराने सबके लिए लिंक तो देना पड़ेगा ना, मतलब
no. So we are going to write that we are querying
बंद होगा, इसको कैसे जानेंगे?
So how we are, let me tell you once again.
This is used for only customization related things. This custom setting object.
Yeah, exactly. Customization only.
Okay, not for any other record kinds of.
No, not a simple like object level. We can compare the things as per understanding, but it is not that much thing like a object level side. Yeah. Don't think this is custom object only. Like for your understanding, I'm telling you this is a custom object, but totally intention should be totally different. Yeah, understanding purpose, we can say it's like a custom object, and even it is like a custom object, but functionality wise, like where we are using, so that is totally different, how we are using the both things in both places. So now,
So who does this creation of this custom settings, like admin?
developer only.
Can-
No, developer only. Like this is our part, because admin is not, no, admin also can create, but there is no sense if admin is creating, because if admin is creating, admin is also not aware why I'm creating. If you are a developer, if you want to build this kind of scenario, so then we need to do this kind of thing. Like then you can understand, let's say someone is telling we need to deactivate the product, we need to create a that kind of framework where we can deactivate the things in a production. Even I'm facing the same situation in my current company now. Even today I'm implemented the same thing.
So
For-
whenever we create trigger, we have to create a custom settings as well. And when after implementing, like in the production org, if they want to disable it, they have to just like go here and do things like is active or deactive.
Exactly, right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So now, yeah, so we need to query this record here. So I'm querying this one, and I'm just checking, let's say this is AM. I'm not using this one now. AM. So if I'm checking is active, if is active equal to true, if is active equal to true, okay, so definitely if it is true, which true means this true, this one is active in this true. If this is true, then it will execute, otherwise this will not execute. Okay, so that's why now hopefully everyone is everyone understood what I want to say, right? किसी का कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है ना?
नहीं
नहीं समझ में आ रहा है.
Cool. Yeah, so that's why we are working with a custom setting. And let's take our intention toward the custom metadata. Custom metadata is also brother for the custom setting only. Custom setting is sister and custom metadata is brother. ऐसे नहीं बोलना आपको, मतलब जस्ट वैसे बोल रहा हूँ, ठीक है? तो let's take trigger stop. Let's take example ऐसा कुछ ले लेते हैं, stoppage. Now आपको पता है कि we always use plural while creating the object also. ठीक है? Now we have created the customer data also. So we have some validation rules and custom fields and all we can create here. So if I want to create some custom field, okay, so I can create a checkbox and something like this. So let's say is active. The similar way, like both the things we want to, like result will be same only from both ways. Okay, now if I want to create a record, so in a custom setting, what we did, so we created clicked on the manage button, and after click on that, so we created the record, right? Similarly, we are going to do from here also. So we have created this checkbox, and I'm clicking on this manage button, and after that I'm going to create a record. Similar way. Okay, so here we have label, so we don't have here name, so this label is also like a name only, it's a master label, it's a API name. So I'm giving is active, let's say trigger control, which trigger we want to control. Let's take example, this is for this one, or I'm saying, or alternatively, if I want to stop my complete system, complete stop execution. Like name should be little meaningful. If I'm writing this one, if you are not aware like what I'm trying to do, like you also can understand, oh, this one is if I'm telling you, please go to that custom metadata and find out which custom metadata is stopping complete execution. So if my name is like this, complete stop execution. Definitely, instead of if there is 100 of the custom metadata records, you will not go to 100 of that. You will directly go to that, because naming should be proper, understandable, and meaningful. Okay, so now we need to query this record, and similarly as we done in the custom setting, so we need to do here also. Okay, so if I wanna like find out this one from here also, we can go there and let's refresh and trigger stoppage. And one more thing, so in a custom metadata, identification is MDT underscore MDT, not underscore C. Custom metadata is also like a custom object only. So if I'm writing this one and I'm querying this one, so it is showing the error. You know why? Because name field is not there. So name field is not there. So we have master label. So instead of name, so we have master label, this one. So now complete stop execution. The same query we need to use instead of custom setting. Okay. So now what was our record name? Our record name is, sorry, not this one, right? This one. Okay, like this, sorry. Yeah, like this we need to do. Okay, so similar way, like both approach we can follow. But what is difference? If we already using a custom setting, then why we are using the custom metadata? This is also the logical thing, right? Master label. Okay, so reason behind this is like custom metadata is new as compared to custom setting. Previously, everyone was using a custom setting. Nowadays, companies replacing the custom setting to custom metadata. And if you will write the SOQL on the custom metadata, it will never count in the under the SOQL query. If I'm writing this one, it will never count as a SOQL query. So you can write. That's not an issue. Okay, SOQL we can write. If I'm writing this custom setting, like how many custom SOQL can be there per transaction? 100. Okay, 100 SOQL and DML 150. Okay, if I'm querying the record from custom setting, so it will comes under 1. It is a 1. If I'm writing another SOQL, it will 2. I writing third SOQL, it will be 3. But if I will write multiple SOQL on the custom metadata, it will never count. It always count as a 0 only. Means 101 SOQL error you will never get in terms of custom metadata. Okay, one more benefit in custom metadata. If we are saying custom setting is a part of functionality, okay, then we are not able to deploy the record of custom setting. The records we cannot deploy. We need to do post deployment step, and we need to write a script for that. Script means, let's say if I'm creating a record, so if I have some custom setting, so let's say this is my custom setting, deactivate trigger and all. In a what I need to do here, let's say I have this custom setting, and c dot name, I'm saying whatever name I want to give, whatever name I have given in the like code level, master label, or whatever name. And after that, I'm just writing the name, is active equal to true, and I'm saying insert C. So this is a DML I'm doing here, and I'm just directly inserting a record in the database. Okay, I have created. So what you need to do, you need to give this, you need to run this script in a developer console or production also. If you are deploying, before you will deploy the custom setting first, and after that, for creating a record, you will prepare this script from the sandbox, and you will just execute this one in the production. Okay, after that, this record automatically be created in the custom setting side. So let me just show you how it is created in the backend. So we'll go to our custom object only, and we'll just find out. So we have created a test now, right? So this is a test. If I will write something else and I will try to execute this one. So this one is also created, right? If I'll try to create another one, so now we'll get this exception. So in an object level, so we get duplicate issue. We need to implement manually duplicacy and all. So here automatically you cannot create duplicate record and all, because if you have two records with the same name. And in the let's say in the custom setting, so we have written this account trigger. Okay, and if I have this account trigger with two name, okay, this one, so one is activated and second is deactivated, then system will be confused which name I need to choose, right? So that's why we have duplicacy things implemented by default in the Salesforce side in the custom setting and custom metadata also. Okay, these are deployment step. Like is a post deployment step, means after a deployment we need to run this script in the production side for creating a records. If I want to execute now, you might get some question in your mind also, like, so do we need to do the same thing in the custom metadata also? No, we no need to do, because in the custom metadata we cannot perform any DML. DML is not allowed. Let me just show you. Custom metadata. Where is that? Sorry. No, these are custom setting now. Now you can see we cannot perform DML on the custom metadata. Okay, DML is not allowed on custom metadata. Okay, so now you can see the difference between custom setting and custom metadata. But how can we create this record in production for custom metadata? We can deploy the record also. Like, you know, like if I'm creating a chain set, so while creating a chain set, I can deploy the record also. Okay, so this is a one more benefit for the custom metadata over the custom setting. Okay, and one more thing, like if you want to write the like if I'm using the custom setting and I want to avoid this SOQL 101 error, so do we have any alternative? Yes, we have. One second. Okay. Yeah, so क्या डिस्कस कर रहे थे हम? हाँ, if you want to avoid, let's take an example. We have some custom setting. This is a custom setting. If I want to use here, instead of writing SOQL, and what will we do in custom setting and custom metadata in both the scenario? Let's say I'm saying any something like we have get instance method. If you are not aware something like this, then suggestion should also be there. Sometimes you don't keep. Okay, get instance. Okay, so in the string, so you can just write the name of the your record name. Similarly for custom object also, or like for custom object also. like instead of am, we will use disable value. So this will also a kind of query the things. So in the string, you need to write the name of the record. So if I'm querying this record, and I also can show you the debug statement. So what it is returning. And it will not query only that field. Like let's say I have 20 field in per custom setting. In this custom setting, okay, which field it will return? It will return all the fields. It will return all the fields. Okay, if I want to query this one and I want to execute this one, let me just set up the debug loop. Okay, so on the account object, right? So we need to update the account. Let me first close all these things. Let's say I'm updating account and okay. Okay, these disable values. So we are getting all these custom setting reports, right? Complete values we are getting. So it's a last modified and deleted. So whatever created it and ID. So if I'll click on this ID, it will redirect us on this custom setting record only. So this is the record, this custom setting. Okay, so everything is there. Whatever the trigger value, or like whatever the name and whatever the is active value is true. Okay, so it will return. So now we are checking if it is true. We are just picking the things from here. If it is active equal to true or not. If it is true, then we are executing this thing. I hope everyone is understanding if you are not asking the question. समझ में आ रहा है ना? कोई question? Am I on mute? No.
I have a question.
Yep.
Like it's like for every trigger we have one custom setting.
नोट नहीं, वो डिपेंड करता है कि आपका कस्टम सेटिंग, मतलब डिपेंड करता है कि आपकी फंक्शनैलिटी कैसी है. टोटली डिपेंड करता है कि आपका डिजाइनिंग पैटर्न कैसा है. जो आपका डिजाइन आपके आर्किटेक्ट ने ऐसा बोला, यू कैन सजेस्ट दैट वी कैन हैव two type of like we can have like two custom setting. One is like making each and everything false, means complete execution को stop करने के लिए you should have different record. और एक होना चाहिए हर एक ट्रिगर का एक एक कस्टम सेटिंग रिकॉर्ड बना लो आप. It can have single custom setting with multiple records. It doesn't mean that per custom setting we can have only one record only. We can have multiple record also with the same custom setting. ठीक है. So let me...
what those records are for, like based on only one trigger, or we can include a different triggers in the same custom setting?
See, one second.
With the just name included there.
Yeah, just you can write the name of the trigger per record. Let's say you have 50 records and with 50 triggers. So with 50 trigger, you can get 50 records, and that record name you can include in the code level.
That is what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, similarly this one, another trigger name you can write, or whatever the name you want to prefer, and accordingly you can make it active, deactivated. Like in some scenario, if you will not do like this, let's say you need to deactivate only 1 to 2 trigger only. Let's say one trigger is firing, let's say only account object, everything was working fine in the production. After your deployment, so everything is breaking now, and a client is unable to create any records on the any company on the account object after deployment, or let's say after a few days it is not working, it's stopped working. So it is getting exception while creating the records. So client is non-technical. So what they can do, even you also cannot do anything, because you need to go to sandbox, you need to deploy the things again, you need to deactivate that one, right? So as a best way, instead of deactivating each and everything, we don't need to deactivate all the triggers in the system. We need to deactivate only single trigger only if it is not firing properly. If you want to deactivate that one, so single, we can go to that single record and we can deactivate that one simply. means disable this one, not deactivate. Definitely we will not be able to deactivate, because this trigger sorry, this trigger will stop working that time whenever it will be false. If it is true, means if it is true, then it will work. If I'm making it false, definitely it is not meeting the criteria. It is not false, it is true. If it is false, then it will not never go to inside this such condition. If it will not go, it means it will stop to execute these conditions, right? Whatever update is happening and all, it will never be like it will never be done, right? ठीक है.
Who has access to this custom setting? Only admin object, custom setting object.
No, it doesn't, like वो डिपेंड करता है कि आपको क्या करना है. आप कस्टम प्रोफाइल में जाके आप दे सकते हो. इट्स लाइक अ कस्टम ऑब्जेक्ट ओनली, आप दे सकते हो.
It comes under the custom object only.
हाँ, इट्स लाइक अ कस्टम ऑब्जेक्ट. से कस्टम ऑब्जेक्ट एक्सेस होता है, ऐसे कस्टम सेटिंग एक्सेस देता है प्रोफाइल से.
No, it has got a different section where we can give the access level in the profiles.
नहीं, कस्टम ऑब्जेक्ट वाले सेक्शन में आता है.
Custom object में, okay.
It's a good question. Yep. Okay, 1 minute रह गया. Let's join again. Okay. Let's rejoin.